Thank you for joining me on this Saturday morning. If you don't know what day it is, yes, it's Saturday, April 18th. A couple housekeeping details. This webinar is being recorded. I'm hoping to post a link to it either up on YouTube, or if Facebook accepts video files this large, I'll put it up on my Facebook page. So if you need to come back to this later and see it, you can do that. There should be a questions box in your GoToWebinar panel. If you have a question for me, feel free to type it into that questions box at any time. We can do questions anytime during my presentation, or I might save a couple till the very end, just in case I'm going to cover that subject in the next slide. So let's get started. We're going to talk about planning your family's first trip to Walt Disney World. My name is Maeghan Nicholson. I live in McFarland, and I'm with Mouse Magic Travel, which is an agency based out of Verona. So let's start talking about Walt Disney World. When most people think of Walt Disney World, they think of the park with the castle, which is called Magic Kingdom. But most people, if they haven't been to Walt Disney World before, don't know that there are actually 4 parks within the Walt Disney World property. So if you want to see all of Walt Disney World, you're going to probably need at least 4 days to cover everything. I usually say 5 days because Magic Kingdom is the largest park and can take 2 days to fully cover. So the 4 parks of Walt Disney World, as shown here, with their probably most iconic aspect of the park on the left, is Animal Kingdom. Now, people sometimes describe this like a zoo because there are actually animals in Animal Kingdom. There's a safari ride where you can see elephants, zebras, giraffes, lions, but there's a lot else to this park, a lot of ecological learning opportunities, and there's a new World of Avatar, Pandora, there. So if you want to fly on the back of a banshee or take a ride through a glow-in-the-dark forest, the World of Avatar is there at Animal Kingdom. Epcot is the next park with the giant silver ball. This park was kind of Walt Disney's vision of the future. At the front of the park is Future World, where the rides are focused on space travel, or there are attractions talking about conservation, lots of learning opportunities for kids. And then at the back of the park is the World Showcase. So there's a giant pond back there, and around that pond are all the countries of the world. So you can go from Mexico to Japan to China to Italy to France, and there are attractions and places to eat and drink at each one of those stops. At Epcot, Norway is the only place in Walt Disney World where you can meet Anna and Elsa from Frozen. So if you have little girls who are Frozen obsessed and you skip Epcot, they may be disappointed that they don't get to meet their favorite princesses. So I always point that out to people who don't want to do all the parks. Magic Kingdom, as I said, is the first Disney park. It's the largest of the parks with over 40 different attractions in that park. It has all the classic parks you think of when you think of Walt Disney World. Peter Pan, It's a Small World, Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean. You'll find them all there. And then finally, Hollywood Studios, Disney's Hollywood Studios, is a lot of movie-themed attractions. So here you will find the Hollywood Tower of Terror. It's also the location of the new Star Wars Galaxy's Edge section, where you can drive the Millennium Falcon, build your own lightsaber, play with droids. If you've got big Star Wars fans, you'll want to include a day at Disney's Hollywood Studios. It also has a new Toy Story Land with Woody, Buzz, and all your Toy Story friends. Probably the #1 question that I get is, when is the best time to go? And there's a couple of ways to answer that question. First, based on crowds and pricing, the start of each school semester, meaning January and late August, early September, are the least expensive times and have the lowest crowds. And you can reason that out. Obviously, people don't like pulling their kids out the first weeks of school. So that is when prices are the lowest and there are the least amount of people at Disney. So if you have kids who aren't in school yet, toddlers or pre-kindergarten, this can be a great time to go. Anytime kids are in school is better than when they are out for a holiday break. So if you're willing to take your kids out of school, those can be better weeks to go in terms of pricing and crowds. The week between Christmas Day and New Year's Day are the busiest days of the year and the most expensive. So I know everybody has the vision in their head of going to Disney at Christmas, but just realistically, you're going to have wall-to-wall people, long waits for everything, including the bathrooms, as well as the rides and standing in line for food. So if you're not good with being packed in like sardines, you might want to push it out a week after New Year's. It would be a great time to go. If you can push it out a little bit, or the week before Christmas is even a great time to go too. But that holiday week can be very, very stressful. Easter, spring break surrounding Easter, the 4th of July, Thanksgiving are also very busy. Summer can be slower than any other school breaks, but of course this is Florida, so it's super hot during those summer months. And they have heat and humidity in Florida that we don't have here in Wisconsin, so for some northerners it can be a little bit overwhelming for us. Speaking of best time to go, in terms of weather, this is just a fun meme that I saw on Facebook for the Walt Disney World weather forecast. You can see every month says hot because it is Central Florida. But when you get into June, July, August, it's like you're covered in baby oil, wrapped in tinfoil, sitting on the sun. So it is super hot those months. Disney World is great about having air-conditioned spaces where you can take breaks during the day. Most of the ride lines are in shade with fans. They have some cooling misters, but in those summer months, you're probably going to want to bring a change of clothes for midday or take a midday break and go back to the pool because it can be really hot. Now, in those winter months, when we want to get out of Wisconsin because it's freezing, you can expect it to be hot in Florida, but Mother Nature may decide anytime within there that it's winter for 3 to 5 days. We went in December 2018, and the kids were wearing long pants and jackets and complaining about it being cold. It was probably 60 something, but when the temperatures dip down at night, you just want to make sure that you have layers that you've packed so you're prepared for those. All right, let's talk about the Walt Disney World Resort hotels. There are many resorts that are considered on-site to Walt Disney World. On this map, it's all the spots marked with numbers here. And so you can see there are some that are close to Magic Kingdom and are on the monorail at the top. Over to the far left near Animal Kingdom theme park, you can see the Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is a hotel where you can see, if you have a Savannah view, the animals right outside your window. So you're going to have giraffes with your morning coffee. Down at the bottom near Hollywood Studios, you'll have some of the value level resorts, the All-Star Resorts, Top Century, Art of Animation. Epcot's kind of right in the center of everything. And then off to the right, there is the Disney Springs area, which is a shopping center. There's a bowling alley, and some hotels are close to that location. So when people ask me what's the difference between the resorts, a lot of it has to do with location. So the Disney World Resort hotels are kind of split into 4 categories. There are value resorts. These resorts are going to be the farthest from the park, have the smallest rooms according to square footage. They have basic amenities. And at these hotels, there's no table service dining within the hotel. So there is food there, but it's more cafeteria style or quick grab and go kind of food. There's not going to be a character meal right inside your hotel or anything like that. I will say there are no Motel 6s at Disney. All of Disney's accommodations are, you know, high end, so don't ever feel like you're going to be in a roach motel or anything like that if you choose a value resort. Moderate resorts are convenient to Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios, but they're a little further away from Magic Kingdom. The rooms are a little bit bigger, the amenities are a little bit nicer, and the rides to each park are shorter on the bus. The deluxe hotels are those hotels closest to the park. They have the largest rooms, nicer amenities. These are the ones going to be connected to Magic Kingdom by the monorail, so it's just a quick 5-minute hop on the train and you're there. And usually each deluxe hotel has something special. So like Animal Kingdom Lodge with the animals right outside your window. You're not going to get that at a value hotel. And then villas are part of Disney's Vacation Club timeshare company. These are properties attached to deluxe resorts, and they have larger rooms starting from studios up to 3-bedroom villas with kitchens in them. So if you're looking for a timeshare type layout where you want to cook your own food, that might be a good option for you. Now, what's the difference between staying on-site with Disney versus off-site? When you stay in a Walt Disney World resort, you get extra benefits. So the first benefit is a free ride to and from the airport on the Magical Express motor coach. This is a great value if you're going to Disney because a taxi can cost about $50 each way from Orlando Airport to Disney World. So they're saving $100 off the bat. On-site guests get special perks where they get to book FastPasses for rides 60 days before their trip, and they get to book them all at once. Off-site guests get to choose their rides at 30 days out. So if you are an off-site guest, most of the most popular rides are going to be already booked and sold out from on-site guests. So if you want to ride Space Mountain or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or the new Flight of Passage in the World of Pandora or drive the Millennium Falcon in Hollywood Studios, you're most likely not going to get that ride as a fast pass if you're not staying in a Disney World resort. There are extra magic hours, which are for on-site guests only. So a park's going to open an hour early, 8 to 9 a.m. at Magic Kingdom, and only people who are staying on-site get to go in at this time. So the crowds are a little bit lower. You can get a few rides in real quick before the public starts rushing in at 9 o'clock. It's a really great benefit. You get free transportation from your hotel to the park and back. And there are a bunch of different transportation options at each resort. Some have the monorail, some have buses, some have boats. And now there's a new Skyliner where you can ride in a gondola from your hotel to the park. So that's pretty cool. If you are staying off-site, obviously some off-site hotels have free shuttles, but they only run once a day. Otherwise, you could rent a car, take a taxi, or take an Uber. Staying at a Disney resort allows you to kind of immerse yourself in Disney magic and quality. Disney is well known for the quality of their experiences. So if you want to be inside the Disney bubble, staying at a Disney resort is the only way to go. If you do have a car with you and you're staying at a Disney resort, you don't have to pay the parking fees at the theme park. Last time I checked, these were around $25 a day. So if you're driving in from an outside hotel, you have to budget in that $25 per day for parking at the theme park. If you do have a car at the resort, there is an overnight parking fee for keeping it at your resort, and those are different prices depending on which resort you stay at. And then on-site guests get complimentary magic bands, which are fun little bracelets that make your experience even better. I'm going to show that on the next page. So what is a magic band? You'll see a picture here of my family's magic bands when they came in the mail. Everybody gets to choose their own color. Everybody gets to put their name on the inside of it. This is a little wristband that you are going to wear, and it is going to be your hotel room key. So when you get to your hotel room, you walk up the door and tap your wrist on the lock, and the door will magically open. It's going to store your credit card. So when you want to buy a Mickey plush or a new sweatshirt, you just walk up to the counter, you tap your wrist on the checkout, and you're automatically charged for those items, which can be dangerous. It holds all your Disney dining plan credits. If you choose to do a dining plan, when you're eating, the waitress will just tap your wrist and pay your dining bill with it. If you're taking photos in the park, cast members are taking photos of you in front of the castle, they'll tap your wrist and the photos automatically appear in your phone. It holds your park tickets. You walk up to the gate, tap your wrist, and walk right through. Paper tickets or hard tickets. It holds your ride fast passes. You walk up to the ride and tap your wrist at the entrance. And you get a green light, and the cast member says, "Okay, you can skip the line." And they also make great souvenirs. You can take them home and play with them later, or turn them into some decor on your wall. So that's a free benefit for on-site guests. Otherwise, off-site guests have to purchase these. They start around $20 for each one. So that's another benefit. All right, let's talk about dining options. There are over 200 restaurants within the Walt Disney World property, and they're kind of broken into three types. There are table service meals, where you sit down with a waiter, order off a menu. Reservations are not required, but highly recommended. You book up in advance. If you walk up to a restaurant in Walt Disney World and ask for a table, you're most likely not going to get one same day, especially if it's peak dining time, noon to 1 for lunch or 5 to 6 for dinner. Some of the table service meals have characters. Not all table service meals have characters. There's some pretty nice upscale dining if you're interested in lobster and steak and all the good food. They have those around. Then there are quick service meals, which some people like to think of fast food, but I compare it to more like a Chipotle or a Panera, where you order at a counter, seat yourself, and they either call your number or bring your food to you. But it's not all hot dogs and chicken nuggets. There's a good variety of different kinds of options, from salads to rice bowls. Pretty much any kind of food you could think of is available on Disney World property. And then there are snacks, which are vendors all over the street or in shops, just selling single items, pick up and go, Mickey-shaped pretzels, Mickey-shaped donuts, Mickey-shaped everything. Great for snacks. Disney has a number of dining plans that you can purchase in advance. These don't save you any money technically, but they are good for people who need to budget, because it's pretty much the amount of money you're going to spend on food anyway. So by packaging it in with your resort and tickets, it makes a trip seem kind of all-inclusive. Each of these dining plans includes a resort refillable mug. You get this mug at your resort. Every morning you can fill it up at the resort with soda and take it with you to the parks. Unfortunately, you can't refill it in the parks, but you can always take it back to your resort and refill it at the end of the day. So it's kind of a nice, convenient thing. So the quick service dining plan is 2 quick service meals and 2 snacks per person per night. So this would limit you to only those counter service restaurants I talked about, the grab and go. This is a great option for people who don't want to be stuck in reservations. Table service meals can take anywhere from 1 to 3 hours. So if your family doesn't want to use up that amount of time, quick service dining might be right for you. The Disney dining plan is 1 quick service, 1 table service, and 2 snacks per person per night. So if you want to do a sit-down meal every day, if you think your family's going to do at least 1 sit-down meal every day, I do recommend the Disney dining plan to get you that 1 table service meal. If you're only going to do 1 character meal in 4 or 5 days, then a dining plan is probably not right for you. You'd be better off just paying for that 1 sit-down meal out of pocket on your credit card, because if you did the dining plan, you'd have 4 or 5 table service meals that you weren't planning to use. The Disney Dining Plan Plus allows any 2 meals, quick or table, and 2 snacks per person per night. So people who want that flexibility between quick or table service, good plan for them. And then the Deluxe Dining Plan is any 3 meals and 2 snacks per person per night. And I will tell you, this is an immense amount of food. To have 3 meals and 2 snacks, you're going to basically be spending your whole day eating. Now, if you're a person who wants to do all the super fancy meals, there are signature meals on property that cost 2 credits. So if you want to eat inside the castle with princesses, or you want to go have lobster and steak every night, then the Deluxe Dining Plan may be right for you, because it gives you 3 credits a day that you can use. You would use 2 of them on those signature meals and then still have 1 left over. All these dining plans do include alcohol, which is a relatively new addition. I think in 2018 they added that. So with each adult meal, you can have an alcoholic beverage where available. And for the table service meals, they don't include tips. So just be sure to tip your server. Now, I highly recommend booking advanced dining reservations. These open at 180 days before your trip at 5 a.m. in the morning, Central Time. So my next trip is planned for October 16th arrival, which means my dining day is tomorrow, April 19th at 5 a.m. So I'll be getting up at 5 a.m. tomorrow to see what kind of character meals I can book for my family in October. For some people, this is a little bit overwhelming to decide where you want to eat and what time you want to eat 6 months from now, but I can help you make these decisions. On-site guests get to book their whole trip at once. So if you're staying for 7 days, you get to book all 7 days at once. Off-site guests have to book each day one at a time. So if I was staying at an off-site hotel, I'd have to get up at 5 a.m. every day this week to kind of grab restaurant reservations for every day of my trip. So it's another benefit of staying on site. I have a free cheat sheet for character meals. So if I'm helping you with your trip, I provide this in advance. If your kids have certain favorite characters, you can scroll down the list, see where they're at, and look up these restaurants and their menus and say, Megan, yeah, I want this one with the princesses and this one with Mickey and Friends, and maybe this other one with Stitch. And then I will book these for you while you sleep. Other things you can book at 180 days include princess makeovers at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. There are a few of these on Disney World property. One is inside the castle at Magic Kingdom. So that's pretty cool to become a princess inside a castle. There are others at Disney Springs and Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. And then the new Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Disney's Hollywood Studios has a lightsaber building workshop called Savvy's Workshop, and a droid depot where you can build droids. So these are limited experiences that require reservations, and those open up 6 months in advance. So if you want to build a lightsaber, be sure to book that early. All right, let's talk about tickets. There are a few different ticket options. Base tickets allow you access to 1 park per day. So you could go into Magic Kingdom tomorrow, but you can't go into any other park tomorrow. You have to stay in Magic Kingdom. The Park Hopper is an add-on that allows you to jump between 2 or more parks in the same day. So if you wanted to spend your morning in Magic Kingdom and nighttime in Epcot, you would need a park hopper to be able to do that. Then an additional option on top of that is the water park and sports option. Disney actually has 2 water parks in addition to their 4 regular parks. So if you would like to go into the water park, that's an add-on to your ticket, and it gives you, based on the number of days of tickets you buy, you get a certain number of days in the water park. And I got a question here from Zach. He says, do you have to have tickets purchased to do the 180-day booking? And the answer is no. You do have to have a resort stay on file and linked to book your whole trip at once at 180 days. But anybody can book a reservation for a restaurant on Disney World 180 days out. It's open to the public. So don't need to worry you have tickets at that point. You do need to have tickets to book your fast passes at 60 days out. So we'll get to that in just a minute. Now you can always go in and out of the same park on the same day with any tickets. So if your kids are young enough that they still need naps in the middle of the day, you could go to Magic Kingdom early in the morning, leave around noon, back for your nap, and then come back at nighttime. Get in and out of the same park with your ticket. Or if you want to go back and hang at the pool when it gets really hot, you can do that. Now with tickets, the more days you buy, the cheaper price per day becomes. So if you get up to a 4 or 5 day ticket, adding on another day is usually like $20 or less per person. So if you're thinking, oh, do I want to do 5 days or 6 days? I'll tell you, well, it's only $40 more to jump from 5 days to 6 days. And you'll be like, what? That can't be right. But the more days you add on, the cheaper it becomes to add that day. So what is a FastPass? Here on the left, you'll see some wait times for some of the most popular rides in Walt Disney World. And let me tell you, you don't want to spend 2 hours and 20 minutes waiting to ride Toy Story Mania in Disney's Hollywood Studios. So Disney created this system called the FastPass system. It lets you skip the regular line queue. So instead of waiting 140 minutes, you're going to take your FastPass and bypass that line and go to the front of the line to get on the ride. It gives you, most FastPasses are good for a 1 hour window. So it's going to say, Megan, you can ride Toy Story Mania between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. with no wait. So that I have to go to the Toy Story Mania ride sometime within that hour window to use my FastPass. You get to book 3 of these per park day in advance. So you'll have to decide which 3 rides are most important to you at each park. And then after you use those 3, if there are still more available, you can go on your app in the park and say, oh, I just used my 3rd FastPass. Let's see if there are any more. You log on to the app and you'll see any FastPasses that are available for the rest of the day. And you can get these one at a time. So you get your 4th FastPass, you use the head, then you can try and get a 5th one and see how many rides you can FastPass before time runs out or until FastPasses run out. So this is really Disney's way of trying to control crowds within the park by designating them to certain rides at certain times. They can kind of control where people go in the park so it doesn't all get clogged in one area. And it's a really slick system. So FastPass booking, I would say, is a must-do. If you are staying on site, it opens 60 days before you check in at 6 a.m. Central. The dining was at 5 a.m. FastPasses are at 6 a.m. I have a free tip sheet for prioritizing which rides in every park are the best to use a FastPass on. And you give me your top 4 choices, which is your top 3 and a backup in case one of your top 3 isn't available, and I will book these for you while you sleep. So people right now are booking FastPasses for June. Character meet and greet. Now, where can you meet characters? Obviously, you can meet them at a character meal. That's not the only place you can meet them. They have their set meet and greet spots in every park. I usually don't recommend that people use their FastPass on a character meet and greet unless you absolutely have to meet that character and it's a high priority and you don't want to wait in line. So if your kid has a favorite princess or they absolutely have to meet Mickey Mouse, then it might be a good choice to use a FastPass on that. And then I always recommend bringing something for autographs. Disney does sell little autograph books, but you could bring a pillowcase or the mat from a photo frame, and have the characters sign all around the photo frame and then put a photo in the middle. But it's a good activity for kids to do to collect autographs as they go around the park. So once we have your resort, your dining reservations, and your fast passes, this is where I come in and kind of put together your vacation plan day by day. So this plan would be laid out for you that you're going to check in at Caribbean Beach. You're going to have dinner with Mickey and friends at Chef Mickey's at 6:40 p.m. First day, you're going to hit Magic Kingdom. You're going to take on Tomorrowland Speedway, Buzz Lightyear, and Santa Tells Bell. I'm reminding you that there are fireworks every night at 8 p.m. You've got a quick service lunch at Be Our Guest restaurant and a dinner at Whispering Canyon in the Wilderness Lodge at 6:30. And so I kind of help you pick which park is the best to do on which day based on the park hours, based on the crowd calendars, and just based on restaurant availability and FastPass availability. So I'll kind of help you build your day-by-day plan. Now, beyond the regular park tickets, dining, resorts, there are special events that you can take part of at Disney World. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party runs from August through October. So select nights, they close down Magic Kingdom starting at 6 p.m. for a private party. So you have to buy a separate ticket for this Halloween party, but the crowds are reduced, so there are no fast passes. So everybody should be able to select rides without a long wait time. There are Halloween-themed parades, Halloween-themed stage shows, special Halloween meet and greets with characters that aren't usually there, like Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas, or all 7 of the dwarves you can meet at once. So Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is pretty great. You can wear a costume. Everyone can wear a costume. The kids can trick or treat inside the Magic Kingdom. So they can take their bucket and get free. So that's a pretty amazing once-in-a-lifetime experience to say that you've trick-or-treated inside Disney World. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Then as Halloween closed down, they start putting up Christmas decorations. And this is similar where there are Christmas-themed parades, Christmas-themed stage shows. It snows on Main Street. So if you've never seen snow in Florida, that's pretty fun. Christmas-themed treats and Christmas-themed meet and greets. So again, certain nights of the week, Magic Kingdom closes down early. All the regular guests are escorted out, and you cannot stay unless you have this private party ticket. So if you're going during these times and you don't want to go to either of these parties, I would help you kind of avoid these parks, avoid Magic Kingdom for these nights, because it'll kind of shorten your day, and you don't want to be escorted from the park at 6 p.m. It means you won't get to see fireworks or anything like that. So I would plan on a different park for those days. There are festivals in Epcot all year round at the World Showcase. So starting in January, they have the Festival of the Arts. In the spring, they have the Flower and Gardens Festival. In the fall, they have a Food and Wine Festival. And during the holidays, they have the Festival of the Holidays. So this is basically where you can go eat and drink around the world. They have little food booths and little drink booths set up. They have cooking demonstrations. They have concerts, free concerts in Epcot. And so it's really a lot of fun for adults. Highly recommend if you can do adults only and take a trip to Epcot for one of their festivals. You fill up on food and drink, good time. There are after-hours parties in certain parks where you get to run amok in Magic Kingdom after hours. So basically, it's a private party. Disney escorts all the regular daytime guests out, and then there are no fast passes for any rides because you should be able to jump on any ride with less than a 20-minute wait because the capacity is limited to those who have bought this after-hours ticket. And then there are Run Disney events. If you are a marathon runner, you can run through the park. They have different themes from Princess to Star Wars. I am not a runner, so I'm not interested in these, but you do get a medal. And it seems like a great time because when else can you run through the castle or through the parks when they're empty? And then I get the question, but where is Harry Potter? The answer is Harry Potter is not at Disney World. This is Universal Orlando Resort. Universal and Disney are two completely separate companies. So if you would like to go to Hogwarts, you will need to buy a ticket from Universal. And you will have to take a taxi or Uber or some kind of transportation away from Disney to Universal because there is no transportation to those parks since they are separately owned. Universal Orlando Resort actually has two separate parks. There's Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. And Harry Potter is split between both those parks. So on the left, you'll see Diagon Alley, and on the right, you'll see Hogwarts, School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Each one of those is in separate parks, and the Hogwarts Express train drives between them. So if you want to see all of Harry Potter, you need a one-day, two-park, park-to-park ticket to see it all. I usually don't recommend trying to do all of Universal in one day. It really is a 2 or 3 day experience. But if you only have one day and you want to see it all, that's how I recommend doing it. Other Disney trip options, Disney Cruise Line is the same Disney experience, just on the high seas. There are character meet and greets, dining, shows, pools with water slides, and then stops at different locations around the world. Disneyland is the park in Anaheim, California. There are actually two parks there. Disneyland Park, which is most like Magic Kingdom in Florida, and then Disney California Adventure, which is a kind of unique part with a lot of California flair in it. Aulani is Disney's resort and spa in Oahu, Hawaii. So if you want to escape to Hawaii, you can stay at a Disney resort there. They have characters there as well. And then Adventures by Disney is a private kind of guided tour for families at different destinations all over the world. So if you want to go on a Wyoming backcountry Yellowstone trip, you could do that. Or if you want to do a river cruise in Europe, they have that. Those are Adventures by Disney trips. So why should you use a travel agent? I just told you everything you need to do. The price is exactly the same booking with me as booking direct on DisneyWorld.com, but you would get my free help. I would watch for discounts for you if we book you for this December and discounts haven't come out for December yet. If they do come out in October, I would apply that retroactively to save you some money. If you book direct with Disney, you could try and call in yourself and do that if you're going to watch for discounts. But that's a free service we offer. As I shared earlier, I have free tip sheets for dining, FastPasses, advice on the different resorts, which park to do on which day, what order you should do the parks in. You get all that free help. I'll book things for you while you sleep, so you don't have to get up at 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. in the morning. We're here if something goes wrong. Obviously, in today's coronavirus travel situation, I've been a big help for all the people who had booked with me in getting refunds, rescheduling, sitting long times on the phone hold, so you don't have to do that. If you book with someone like Expedia, you might be just left high and dry. So it's great to have a person who you know personally, who you can call, and who you can count on to help you with that stuff. And you're supporting your local neighbor's small business, so I thank you for that. People ask, Megan, if all your services are free, why do you do this? Do you get paid? And the answer is yes, I do get paid by Disney. So all the prices on their website have a travel agent commission built into them. So if you buy with Disney World Direct, you're still paying that travel agent commission, but you're not getting those services. Disney's just pocketing the extra profit. So I say if you're already paying for those services, you should probably get them. But yeah, it never costs anything extra to use us. So that's all I had to share with you today. I can take your questions. Otherwise, I advise you to follow me on Facebook, where I post tips and specials and jokes. It's at facebook.com/MMT by Megan, where my contact information is below, and I'm always available to help. Disney is currently booking through the end of the year right now. They haven't opened up reservations for 2021. Usually those are opened late June, early July. If you'd like to go to Disney World next year, just let me know and I can put you on my wait list to let you know when those reservations open, and we can start planning your next trip. Thanks, everybody. All right, let's see what kind of questions we have. Zach wants to know, are you able to do any of the military discount stuff? Yes. My next trip is actually booked under a military discount because my father-in-law is a 100% disabled veteran, Vietnam vet. So we are staying on property at a military resort rate. We don't book the tickets. You're better off booking those directly with your base. But we can book a military resort rate and add a dining plan if you want to. Another common question I ask is, what is the best age for kids to go to Disney World? And that's a really hard question. I've taken my kids as young as 6 months, and my oldest is 10 now. We've gone many times. If you go when they're under 2 years old, they are free. And knowing that a one-day ticket for a child at Magic Kingdom can run $100, you're automatically saving $100 if you get them in before their 3rd birthday. So I'd say take those toddlers with you, toddlers and babies. I'll also say after the kids get to age, 6 or 7, they kind of stop believing in magic and that the characters are real. So if you take your 3 or 4-year-old, they're going to be super excited to meet Mickey Mouse or think they're actually meeting Elsa and giving her a hug. When they get to be 8, 9, and 10, they kind of know it's people in costumes. So I always recommend people go when the magic is still kind of real for those little guys. But really, any age is good for Disney. I mean, there are attractions for all heights. Many rides in Magic Kingdom have no height restrictions. You can carry a baby right on Peter Pan or It's a Small World, and they sit in your lap. So don't worry that they won't be able to ride anything. And we got a question from Christy that says, are magic bands secure? What if I lose my magic band? It's a good question. They are secure. You will create a personal PIN that goes with your magic band. So like I said, when you tap your wrist at the checkout counter, it's going to ask you to enter your PIN just like you would at the ATM. If you lose your magic band, I would recommend going to the nearest guest services counter, and they will deactivate the old band that you lost and give you a new band. It probably won't be in your favorite color. You'll be stuck with a gray band without personalization, but at least you'll still have all your stuff loaded on it. We've got a question. How does the parent FastPass swap thing work? I heard rumors. Yeah, so this is great. If you do have small children that are too small to ride a certain ride, they do have a thing called rider swap. So basically, you would go to the front of the line and tell that cast member, I need to use a rider swap. So we did this for Flight of Passage in Animal Kingdom with my mother and my daughter, who was 2. Obviously, she couldn't ride. So we told the cast member, we want to do rider swap. My mom was going to wait it out the first time with her while we rode. And then we were going to come back and somebody else was going to sit out with her while my mom got to ride. So basically, they scan up to 3 people who are going to go in the first time, come back, and then one person sits out and everybody goes a second time. So if you've got 2 parents and 2 kids, mom's going to ride with the older kid the first time, and then dad can ride with the older kid the second time, which means your older kid actually gets to ride the ride twice in a row using the FastPass with each parent. So it's kind of nice that each parent gets that chance to ride with their kid, and the kid gets to ride it twice using this rider swap option. Hope I explained that right. All right, well, that's all the questions we have today. You're welcome to email, call, or Facebook me with any questions you have in the future. Otherwise, I'll thank you guys all for coming, and I hope I get to talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone, and have a magical day.